Thank you, Chairman. Much appreciated, Engineer Hossam Al-Gamal. We are energized by your statements. And as you have declared the summit open, I also have put challenge to all the delegates that we come out at the end of the day with the learnings. We also share experiences. Very critical that we do that. Much appreciated. Thank you. And without further ado, I would like to introduce Engineer Hany Mahmoud, who's the advisor to the Egyptian Prime Minister on digital transformation. Over to you, Engineer Hany Mahmoud. Are you ready? I can see you are here. Secretariat, can we get Honorable Hany Mahmoud to be unmuted and to be able to give us the keynote address?
Yes, I have been trying to ask for him to unmute. I think he has the gear from his side.
Okay, yeah. I think the Honorable Hany Mahmoud is here in the session. Is it possible just to unmute him so that he's able to come through? Maybe there's some technical challenges there.
Maybe Tabu, he is just not at the desk or something, as he thinks that still his speech would be in a few minutes later on. So I'll try to ping him to participate. Maybe he's far from there. He's now.
He's on now. Thank you.
I'm on now.
Thank you. You can go ahead, Engineer Hany Mahmoud. Welcome.
Thank you.
The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. I would like to thank you for inviting me for such a great event. Digital transformation is now one of the most important discussion around the world, especially with the COVID-19, because COVID-19 actually highlighted the importance of moving to digital era much faster than it would be in the past. So we'll start with the big three challenges for Africa for actually digital transformation. I can summarize the challenges into three groups. Number one is invest in technology. African countries need actually to invest more in technology, because anything you are going to invest and any money you are going to put for technology now, the return for the economy and for the African people will be very fast and very valuable. The second challenge is building capacity. Building capacity, I mean building the human resources. We have seen a lot of youth in Africa actually doing very well in the digital environment. However, I think that building the capacity, and we'll have session later on building capacity, we can discuss it in more details. But this is the second challenge from my point of view. The third challenge is African applications. So we need to have some sort of tailored applications for the African need. And here I can give a very good example of the best African initiative from the digital point of view, which is the program called M-Pesa in Kenya. I think a lot of you knows M-Pesa. Kenya and Safaricom, the telecommunication company in Kenya, they invented the mobile payment platform that now is existing almost everywhere in the world, and they were very pioneer about mobile payment in 2007, where they launched this program. And the reason why it was actually started in Kenya, because there was a great need in Kenya because of the distance between cities and villages, and people wants to send the money to their families, and so the need actually created this M-Pesa program, and it's very much used in Kenya, and from Kenya was spreaded around the world. So what we need to do as an African nation is to focus on how can we use the technology, because we can import a lot of technology from other countries around the world, from Europe, from the States, from China, to help us in our day-to-day. But the good news is to create the technology application that is needed for African environment. So I don't want to spend a lot of time on defining what is digital transformation, but what I need to highlight quickly, the difference between digitalization and digitalization and digital transformation, because we used to mix those kind of 3 steps of digital transformation. So digitizing is just moving things from paper to the computer. So if you have a list of employees already written down in a book or in a sheet of paper, moving this list on the Excel sheet or whatever is digitizing. So you digitize the paperwork into the computer. Digitalizing is using this digital information, doing some analysis, getting some information. So digitalization is using the information that you have to get some information, not the data that you have, to get some information. As an example, if we went back to the example of list of employees in the company, if we put it on the computer, this is what we are calling digitization. If we get some information like what is the average age of the employees, what is the average tenure, how many years, average years people are staying with the company, percentage of female, those kind of things, is using the digital data to get some information. And then when you are ready with the digital data and the analytical tools, then you move to the digital transformation and start initiating some sort of digital applications. Okay, so those are the 3 steps of the digital transformation, because in some areas, people are actually, when they put things from paper to computer, they said, okay, this is digital transformation. This is not digital transformation. This is a very basic step in digital transformation. Let me also focus on how because during the COVID-19, how the digital transformation saved a lot of countries from different aspects. The first aspect, and here I'm talking about Egypt, if we did not start the digital transformation process or journey 3 years ago, actually 2020 will be lost in all our schools and universities. So if we discuss how the digital transformation saved 1 year from our lives or from our children's life, because we were working on digital content, digital education, the infrastructure, the internet infrastructure for all schools. We are working on that for the last 3 years. So when COVID-19 started, we were very ready to conduct education in schools through the internet and through the digital channels. So this is how digital transformation can actually save a lot of things. The second application is healthcare. We are now in several countries using digital transformation in healthcare, connecting hospitals with labs and X-rays laboratories, and moving things on the internet in zero time instead of waiting until we go and print it and get it and send it to the doctor. So a lot of hospitals now can receive any results from labs, from X-rays, from whatever, CAT scans on the internet at the same time while it's already done. So it saves lives and saves time as well. So, and in the near future, the whole healthcare system around the world will be connected together through the communication channels and through the digital data and digital environment. On the other hand, government and municipalities can really get a lot of benefits out of digital transformation, because we are now using a lot of technology like cloud storage, big data, IoT, and artificial intelligence. Those kind of things can actually help a lot the government in different platforms, education, e-government, so providing most of the public service through internet. So as an example, while I'm sitting in my house or my office, I can get my ID replaced, or I can get my birth certificate or things like that without the need to go and queue in front of a government office and use your car or your bus or whatever. You can do it now with just one click or couple of clicks on your laptop or computer. Same now is traffic management. So traffic management is actually in most of the countries now are really monitored and managed through the technology. So they can actually save a lot of lives. It can help a lot of people when they have a problem or accident. They can even stop people from doing bad things by recognizing their cars or their faces through the system, and actually catch them before doing any terrorism or something really can hurt the community. And one thing that really benefited a lot from the digital transformation is the finance and banking. During COVID-19, starting from March until May, so almost 3 months, I did not need to go to the bank. I was doing everything through my mobile and banking mobile application. So I was transferring money, I was getting cash, I was buying some funds and some loans. Everything I did it through the iPhone, so through the mobile phone, without the need to go and visit physically the bank. Only when I need cash, I go to the ATM and get the cash, but not really going to the bank. So this is how things will be different when we are ready with the digital transformation, and we are ready with the 3 challenges that we have, like, building the capacity for our youth and our people. And number 2, actually build or invent new applications for our African needs. And number 3, invest in technology and really get the benefit out of it. The last couple of things that I need to talk about is IoT and smart cards. IoT, as you know now, became everywhere. So devices in the past, to be connected to the internet, you need actually a terminal, what we are calling terminal, like, either a laptop or a smartphone or whatever. Now, in the very in the very near future, most of our equipment will be connected to the internet. So in 2020, as an example, we have 5 billion devices already connected to the internet worldwide. 5 billion. When I say device, I mean air condition, refrigerator, washing machine, a lot of those kind of things, smart car, smart reader, you know. So 5 billion in 2020 already installed, and we are expecting 7 billion to be installed in the near future. So most of our equipment, new equipment in the future, will be connected to the internet to get the benefit of going around. I mean, one of the most important thing is cars. Now, cars is already connected to the internet, and you can have GPS in your car. You can have a lot of benefits from being connected to the internet. And I can give you another example, the smart readers, smart electricity readers, and as an example now, can do miracles. So especially in African countries. So if you have a over usage in one of the regions in your country, you can send a message to all the electricity smart readers in the region, telling them that we have an overcapacity problem, please reduce the usage. So the electricity smart reader can already go to connected automatically through the IoT to devices in some houses, or even to talk to the smart readers in normal houses, asking them to reduce load. And those smart readers can automatically, without any human interference, can go and switch off some equipment until the electricity network is balanced, and after a while they can actually operate the game. This is how can digital transformation help, and IoT can help us a lot in other things. The last thing that I need to talk about is smart cars. The smart cars now is moving to another era, which is multi-purpose cars, because if you can notice, people now are having in their wallet a lot of cards. I mean, I have in my wallet at least 15 cards, smart cards. In the near future, you will need one card, what we are calling multi-application cards. So the multi-application card, you can have one card, and this card can be used as a credit card, can be used as a club entrance card, it can be used as a syndicate membership card, it can be used in a lot of things. So instead of holding 100 cards or tens of cards in your bucket, you can have in the future one multi-application cards, and you can program this card into different type of usage, so you can use it for different reasons. I need to close my remarks by what are the 6 building blocks of digital transformation. So what we have now is 5 important building blocks. 1, create the right mindset and shared understanding. So you need to make sure that everybody has the same mindset and understanding of the importance of digital transformation and the value added that this digital journey can add to our lives. Put the right leaders in place, especially it comes from the top. So leaders in our African countries should believe on the importance and the need for the digital transformation, so they can put the investment, they can push it down, they can invest in building capacity. And the third building block is formulate digital strategy to respond to opportunities and threats. Every country needs to have a digital strategy because the need of every country is different. You cannot, it's not one size fits all. You need to build and to design your digital strategy based on your needs in your country. And then you need to find and develop or acquire digital business skills and roles. So either you develop, and until you develop, you can buy these digital business skills until you develop what you need from your local people. And the last one is create new digital business capabilities in both technology, equipment and application, and human resources. You need to have those kind of capabilities. So when you start building your digital transformation journey, you can have all the resources that you need for the future. So I would like to stop here and enjoy the rest of your conference, and we'll come back in the panel discussion about building capacity. Until then, we'll be on the call just enjoying and benefit from such important conference. Thank you very much.
Much appreciated, Engineer Hany. Mohammed, your presentation was very enlightening. It highlighted the challenges that are there, the three challenges on investment, capacity building, and also applications that are Afrocentric, very key in having us to move forward. You highlighted in terms of digital transformation, differences of digitization, building up into digital transformation, very key for policymakers, business people, and also academics to understand when they are doing this, what is it that they're doing. I liked the framework, so the framework, government framework, which had pace layering being put for the digital capabilities, systems of engagement, systems of innovation, systems of record, systems of differentiation, very, very well articulated, much appreciated. Thanks. I hope our attendees got as much value that I've got in this, and we'll probably discuss as we go ahead with the panelists. And so I'm looking forward to hearing on the capacity building as you spoke earlier on. Thank you very much. Much appreciated for that.
Thank you for your invitation. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Much appreciated. Our next speaker is Claudia Selli. Claudia Selli is the chairman or chairperson of ICANN-Business Constituency and executive director for legislative and political affairs head, AT&T. Claudia, can you come through?
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yes, as loud and clear. Much
okay, that's perfect. And thank you very much, first of all, for this kind invitation. I'm really honored to be part of this important conference and great panel. I appreciated as well the insight that were given up to now. Just very shortly, as you said, I'm indeed chairing the business constituency within ICANN, and the business constituency and AfICTA have been collaborating since 2012. And the BC is really proud to recognize AfICTA contribution in the policy engagement effort of the business constituency in ICANN towards particularly a safe, secure, and resilient internet that serves really business. As you know, the business constituency represents a variety of companies that include small and medium-sized enterprises as well as larger business, and we all together try to shape the process and the policy making within ICANN. And of course, it's a lot of volunteer work. I see a lot of members that participate very in ICANN, very committed to that process, starting from Jimson to Roberto Wale and Lawrence and many others. So basically, we are a group of varied regional businesses that include Africa, include Asian, Europe, as well as America, of course. And we are also very diverse in terms of representation from, there's a lot of gender balance as well. I would start my remarks by highlighting that certainly one lesson that the health pandemic has taught us, as also the previous speaker has been saying, is that the digital technologies are key in our life and in our future. In few months, businesses, school, and the social life had to move completely online. During the height of the lockdowns in America, for example, we could witness in AT&T core network traffic spiking and an increase on an average of 20% if you take similar dates a month before. We're carrying more data than ever before. In fact, in AT&T Global, nearly 20% with if you compare those to pre-pandemic figures. Even prior to COVID anyway, digital services were growing rapidly around the world, and our industry is transitioning as data and video consumption have exploded among consumer. Only on our network, basically the data have grown around 580,000% since 2007, when the first iPhone was launched. And between 2015 and 2019, AT&T invested also more than 135 billion in our wireless and wireline network, including capital investment and wireless spectrum acquisitions and operations. For new technologies to be also deployed, mobile networks will need to deliver complex network management capabilities to enhance quality, performance, bandwidth, latency, as well as coverage. We will need all of the features of 5G to meet the growing demand for video streaming and other high bandwidth services. By 2022, we estimate that basically our video consumption will be up 75% for AT&T mobile traffic only. And if you think that this year only, a lot of Americans had their first probably virtual medical visit, and certainly also, many other features were utilized. But in order for also companies to deliver such services to consumer, we certainly need policy framework that encourage investment and that help innovation. And certainly we need a secure, stable network. And the other thing that we have been witnessing is that with everyone working from home, there has been a surge as well in security attacks, DNS abuses, copyright infringement, which can certainly endanger business operations. Within ICANN, we engage strongly to maintain one stable and reliable internet and avoid fragmentation that is detrimental for us and to our operation. And certainly, for example, we have seen an increase in phishing and malware, and hence we are advocating certainly to find practical solution for DNS abuses. Another tool that has been critical for businesses is the access to the WHIS, and we are very strongly advocating and trying to restore access to the WHIS that is not any further available due to the implementation of the General Data Protection Directive that came into force, a couple of years ago. And we are still trying to find a solution and working very hard with the community in that respect, because this tool has been critical, first of all, to, for example, discover cybersecurity attack and basically stop them in the first place, and to avoid a spreading of those cybersecurity. And secondly, also for IP infringement and abuse of brand names. I really welcome and would like to commend the AfICTA engagement in the business constituency, and I hope that you will continue to do the great work that you have been doing in working all together with us and helping us steer that process. So with that, I will stop here and I will be happy to engage in the discussion. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Claudia. Much appreciated. Had some of the takeaways with regards to the fact that the more we have our people going into being online, the more you have the risk of them being exposed and them being infringed upon. And cybersecurity is something that is very much important for us going forward. We have had a turning point with COVID. COVID coming in, it had actually made lots and lots of changes, and it changed our lives. And with that, it's very critical that we marry the number of people going online with protecting them from all these challenges that are there. Thank you. I'm seeing you now. Yeah, much appreciated for that. Thanks a lot, Claudia. I think we are looking forward to hearing the panel as we are discussing later on to get the insights, and also to have that engagement, to have the question and answer later on, and to actually really go into the detail, to deep dive, if I may use the word. Much appreciated. Your keynote is appreciated. Thank you. On moving with our program, we will move next to Melisssa. Melisssa Sassi. She's a global head in IBM Hyperprotect Accelerator. Works a lot with the youth. I think is very, very passionate about the youth, and she highlighted lots about having this challenge, which is having Africa having an International Code Day, or Africa Code Day, if I may put it in that manner. But she seemed to be very much passionate about that. Her focus in the work is basically empowering your early stage entrepreneurs through technology, and with business acceleration and technology credits, core marketing and going to market strategy, and access to IBM ecosystem. Melisssa, she has driven a couple of initiatives, such as Call for Code, an initiative that is aimed at partnering for and responding to disaster scenarios with technology innovation. But prior to that, I think she was with Microsoft Airband initiative, where she was an impact investor focused on the internet and energy access. She is currently a chair of IEEE's Digital Intelligence Working Group, and is on the steering committee of the Coalition for Digital Intelligence with the World Economic Forum, OECD, IEEE, and the DQ Institute. Ladies and gentlemen, I think what we are going to have, Melisssa sent us a recorded message. I'm not sure if maybe she joined us later, but I don't think she had joined. So we will play the recorded message in the meantime.
Today's conference, and also serving as a panelist and a keynote speaker, where I talk about three main topics. Number one, the startup program that I run globally. It's called IBM Hyperprotect Accelerator. I focus on early stage startups, less than $1 million in revenue, less than 5 years old. I focus on three main verticals: fintech, health tech, and insurtech. If you know any startups, please send them my way. You can find me at Mentor Africa with a K. So please hit me up. Please encourage your startups to check out our IBM Hyperprotect Accelerator class of 2020. 34% of our startups are from the continent. 53% of our startups have at least one female founder. The other main topic that I covered today is digital skill building. I have an amazing opportunity for young people. It's called the IBM Z for Good Ideathon. There's an opportunity to win prizes. And the whole concept is, how do we skill young people? And how do we encourage young people to go out and share their skills forward in their communities? The last thing I'm going to share is what I consider to be a call to action for you, a call to action for me. In Cape Verde, we created a National Day of Code. We received shout outs from the Prime Minister, from the Vice Prime Minister, from the Secretary of State, all about this National Day of Code. We even had famous musicians join us to explore computer science for the first time. What can we do to create National Days of Code across the continent? What can we do to create African Days of Code? What can we do to inspire the world, all from the continent, to create an International Day of Code where everyone explores the basic building blocks of what it means to code, to demystify that scary digital transformation thing and encourage everyone everywhere to learn the digital skills necessary to prepare for the future of work. Again, you can find me at Mentor Africa with a K. I encourage you to reach out if you're open to collaboration on the Ideathon or anything else. Feel free to reach out to me. I've also included my email address. Thank you, and on behalf of IBM, have an absolutely wonderful summit. Take care.
Thank you for that. Much appreciated. And I have to apologize for the glitches that happened when we started. I think with technology, it always happens as such. I think Melissa, her passion, very passionate around startups and also the youth, coding, making sure that coding is actually advanced. It's something that if you are very much sharing that passion, and you also are in the space, just reach out. You can reach out, and I think she will also come through later on into one of our sessions and the panelist as being a panelist. I have to move on with the program of today. The program, now we are at a point, we've got Dauda Oyele, who's a head of corporate strategy. He is going to represent Professor Mohammed Bello Abubakar from Galaxy Backbone PLC. Can we have Dauda Oyele? Secretary, can we have maybe?
Yes, can you hear me?
Scott, thank you. Oh. Welcome. Welcome, Dauda.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. You can go ahead. Thank you.
Yeah, good morning. Okay, thank you very much.
Good morning, we can hear you.
For the invitation of Galaxy Backbone. Yes, I am speaking already. Are you hearing me?
Yes, loud and clear. We can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah,
I am here to represent my boss. I'm here representing my boss, as we have rightly introduced, Professor Mohammed Bello Abubakar, the MD CEO of Galaxy Backbone. Okay. Who is unavoidably absent because of the emergency that happened yesterday to the Honorable Minister. Being part of a family, he has to also be available for the funeral rite today. And that is why at the last minute, he could not make it to this program and asked me to represent him. So the first thing is to appreciate and thank you, AfICTA, for the recognition accorded to Galaxy Backbone to also be part of this program. Without delaying and wasting much time, I will go straight to the point of the discussion, which is how we address the ICT business challenges in the COVID-19 and post-pandemic world. Well, the first thing is that the COVID-19 pandemic came at a time that no business can claim to have envisaged. It came at a time that nobody was really fully prepared. Why businesses with a good business continuity strategy may have been able to respond better, no business actually expect the extent of the impact of COVID-19 in our normal life and our businesses and social life. The couple of challenges that I will enumerate here have been mentioned. Some of them have been mentioned by the previous speakers. The ICT business challenges that are occasioned by or caused by COVID-19 could be summarized as follows. The first one is the changing business priorities of organizations. Business priorities are changing. What is so important before, every organization in responding to the reality on ground are not necessarily what is important now. So the priorities are changing. And as we all know, ICT doesn't stand on its own. Technology doesn't stand on its own. Technology is an enabler of business processes. So when business processes are changing, technology has to move in the same pace and change. And the ability to change is what determines the ability to respond to these number one challenges of changing business priorities. So the challenge here is, how do we keep ICT in alignment with the changing business priorities that are occasioned by these new realities? And the second one is the business strategy itself. So the priorities are the external, what the business wants to do to the environment, how it impacts the environment, how it creates value. For the strategy, the approach by which it is also done has changed tremendously and is still changing. So how do we, with the business going more digital to create value and delivery and to deliver value, the workforce needs to, they are adopting digital approach to work. So how do we meet up, or how do we enable the strategy, the new strategy to be able to do business? How do we position IT or technology to meet with that changing approach to work? Is the second highlighted challenges that COVID-19 has brought. Then also the technology resources. There is now increased requirement for technology resources. Now we are having this this workshop or this seminar on video conferencing that is using technology resources. This is an unprecedented use of technology before. If it was last year, perhaps we would all be located in a particular location or in a particular place that will be having this discussion. But the reality of the COVID-19 pandemic has made this to happen. And every organization that is still keeping the same bandwidth that they have before will definitely experience challenges. As we have also seen here that technology resources is a major thing. And that is why the ability for you to hear me clearly and see me clearly, and for me to also do otherwise, is based on the resources of technology. So part of the challenges that we need to rise up to and address is the increased business need for technology resources. How do we keep up or meet up with the increased resources by businesses in cost-effective manner? Because you don't always, every business is not always able to have what it wants. It is about what it can afford. So, but when technology resources becomes key component of your ability to deliver, it becomes a challenge, and it also becomes the responsibility of ICT provider to see how to do this cost effectively. The number 4 is the pandemic emergency itself. And the question here, the challenge here is how do we optimize the processes and the business continuity plan to address the pandemic emergencies, like the coronavirus infection itself, which can lead to serious sickness and even death of staff, of key human resources that you have in creating and delivering value. So this is another major emergency that all businesses need to see the best way of addressing. And then on the number 5 item on my list here is the supply chain challenges. And with the disruptions occasioned by the lockdown and other logistic challenges, how do we manage the supply chain to sustain operations and to ensure values are delivered? Knowing that we use technology to deliver value, to create value, and with the sudden issues of lockdown, and that is why preparation is always very key. Many organizations who are able to respond very well to this issue of COVID-19 are those who are prepared or who have very dynamic processes in place to respond to challenges. So part of the challenges the organization have faced and we continue to face is about the supply chain management and the disruptions that could affect your supply chain. The workforce challenges, the new capacity requirements for the workforce, the issue of knowledge, the knowledge gap, how do we meet up with these challenges of closing the needs, the capacity requirement of the ICT, of the people that are going to be using technology to deliver value. So workforce challenge is one other major challenge occasioned by this COVID-19. The last but not the least is what I lump up as increased information security needs, which is about addressing the influx of cyber criminal attacks. People sit down at home more now, and I think probably the cyber criminals also have more time to practice what they know best. So the organizations must rise up to address this need and continue to do that. So how do we address the security risk from remote working also of staff? And then how do we strengthen security defenses of organization? So these are a few of business challenges that are occasioned by this pandemic, and the businesses must continue to rise up against and address. Using Galaxy as a case study, briefly, we were able to respond to the challenges in a very unique way that not only ensure that Galaxy remain a reliable organization or a reliable service provider to our customers, but also to ensure that governance in Nigeria continue to run despite the challenges of COVID-19. Our interventions help the Nigerian economy in no small ways, as we were able to stimulate and keep going government-to-government collaborations, government to citizens, and government to business collaborations and communications. We were able to use our network, our capability and capacity to support this. In terms of preparation, as I mentioned earlier, that opportunities can only be leveraged upon if there are some level of preparations. And the level of different businesses, the level of preparations of businesses before the COVID is at different level. But thank God, Nigerian government has seen the need to position itself or to enable itself, empower itself with ICT, and a lot of investment has been made through Galaxy Backbone. So prior to COVID-19 pandemic, government has made huge investment through Galaxy in building out infrastructure, which includes world-class Tier 3 certified data center, a nationwide optical fiber backbone limited that provides terrestrial connectivity, and then these infrastructures. The infrastructure is connecting all of government into a single network, which we named onegov.net. And the network provides a common platform for government agencies to have access and consume IT services like email, web hosting, IP telephony, video conferencing, and telepresence. So at a time like this, when the physical contact is limited due to the COVID-19 pandemic, our platform was able to rise to the occasion by providing the ability for government to continue to function remotely through virtual meetings, including the federal executive meetings. We're able to facilitate the meetings using the deployed infrastructure with the ability to share e-memos, We continue to scale up our capacity and bring on-stream services that will further enable government to deliver on its mandates and expectations. So when the pandemic struck and it entered Nigeria, the first thing we did was to review our business continuity plan to ensure that we were able to work effectively and deliver value to our stakeholders, despite the potential impacts of COVID-19. The continuity plan addresses how our staff will sustain operation, either from home or from offices and our other points of presence. We made arrangements for logistics required for our personnel to work effectively. We also planned for necessary supplies required to sustain operations, most especially diesels, to power data centers and maintain high level of availability in case of power outages. Our plan also addressed how we respond if any staff is affected or infected by the coronavirus, or even in case of loss of life. We look at our processes and we review them in line with the new with the business continuity plan. So from operation point of view, we quickly moved to ensure that our MDA customers are aware of how to optimize the system already deployed to them, because many people, for some reasons, are not so friendly with ICT, apart from what they are able to do with their smartphone. There are gadgets in MDAs that many people were not optimizing its use until the COVID-19 came. And one of the things we did was to actually do awareness campaign by whatever means, using social media, communicating with our customers on how they can make better use of the ICT devices that they already have, so that they can work better in the new normal. We also created awareness on information security to ensure vigilance and preventive actions against security attacks. We repositioned our services to facilitate the weekly FEC meetings and conducted several tests that revealed the need to increase the hardware and software resources of our infrastructure. This we were able to do within a short period of time. We optimized our infrastructure, we upscaled where we could do that, and with all that in place, we were able to support federal government to keep the governance going on that, and also by implication, keep the economy running. So going forward, organization generally needs to accept the reality of the new normal and position their businesses and operations to adapt quickly to the new reality. Organizations need to ensure continuity of critical business functions and improved information security status. In order to do this, since they will be leveraging on technology, there is need to prioritize investment in ICT to ensure that business can adapt to different situations. And since financial resources are required in many areas, prioritization has to do with business case and value analysis to ensure that we can get the best out of where we deploy our hard-earned financial resources. So as a lot of things have changed during the pandemic, and it will remain to do so even when the pandemic has passed, organization needs to adopt the positive impacts of the pandemic by building on the progress already made. Many people have already done so many things. Processes have been updated. Investment has been made in technology. New ways of doing things have been found. We need to keep all those good
Ladies and gentlemen, I think we might have, I don't know whether it's only from my side, but I think we've got the message. It was loud and clear. We heard the message. As organizations, we need to be resilient. For us to be sustainable and resilient, we need to be prepared. It is very critical that we are prepared. We need to have ourselves in such a manner that we put our strategies to align with what is happening, to get our workers to align
I lost my connection. I don't know whether I was able to, I mean, people were able to hear me clearly, but as I was trying to round up, I lost connection.
Yes, you can go ahead and round off. Sorry for that. You can go ahead. You can go ahead and round up. Go ahead.
Okay, I was actually rounding up already. I didn't know how clearly my presentation was, so I've rounded up. You can go ahead. I hope my message was well delivered.
Much appreciated. Yes, it was clear. I was just also just trying to summarize that as a businesses, for us to be, for a business to be sustainable and be resilient, business needs to be prepared. It needs to be dynamic, have dynamic processes, be flexible for it to be able to survive. I think it was a key of the message, and as such, thank you, Dauda, for that great presentation and a keynote. We highly appreciate it. Thank you. We will move on with our session, and I would like to extend and say thanks for those wonderful keynote speeches that we just heard. The speeches actually were very much all-encompassing. They were comprehensive. They started off with speaking about the challenges that we've got, with putting more emphasis on Africanizing our solutions, putting investment into technology, and if you want to have a big return on your back, you have to do that. We highlighted the issue of a need to protect, not only IP and brands, but to also protect from a cybersecurity perspective, to protect privacy of people, and also to try and avoid all these abuses that are happening with the advent of a digital space or digital adoption of these technologies. We also saw from a perspective of startups and also a promotion of code, looking more on trying to demystify this thing called coding, removing the fear of coding. We saw a presentation on that, and also for us as a business, if we are to continue and conduct ourselves as a going concern, it is very imperative for businesses to be flexible, to be adaptive, for businesses to be prepared. They need to be prepared both from a perspective of risk, which are the issues that are happening in their space, and also from a perspective of being innovative. Must be innovative, be in a space that they are able to respond to any of these disruptions that are happening. Before further ado, I would like, before we go into vote of thanks, to invite the ICANN Vice President for a goodwill message, Mr. Pierre Dangino. I don't know if he's here. I would like to have him.
Yes, yes, Chair, I'm here.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. For what has really started as very interesting sort of forum because I've been following from the beginning. And I really thank all of you for this opportunity. Of course, ICANN is always, ready to support. ICANN is ready to participate and contribute, and then also happy to see that our colleague from the business constituency, was able to present, kind of keynote address. Well, as far as we are concerned in Africa, and especially, in ICANN, and especially in Africa, of course, we are here to provide capacity building, for instance. And as far as the business is concerned, because what we are trying to do here is make sure that Africa also has its own share, when we talk about the digital economy. This also have different channels. And one of the channels, could be, domain names and the IP addresses, and the way we also operate those so that we are able to generate, some resources. So definitely what we do is to provide this capacity building in different, arena, but also make sure that, the marketing part of it is there for managing, our CCTLDs, which is a country code top level domain like .ng and the rest. And also knowing that this comes also with security. We need to secure our DNS, domain name system. It's important that we really are conversant with those realities, because when you embrace, the digital economy, there are a few realities. There is a culture there, so it's quite important to make sure that we in Africa understand those things. Well, my small team in Africa, which is partly based in Kenya, also Benin, and also we do have our hub, in Istanbul, is here to support, with many functions, be there about compliance, be there about, a technical aspect, of securing your zone file. All of those things are quite important. So yeah, thank you again for inviting us, and then I wish you all, fruitful exchanges. And yeah, back to you, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, much appreciated. Thanks for those warm words and words of wisdom. It's much appreciated to be affiliated with ICANN. I would like to on our founder and also ex-chairperson of AfICTA, Dr. Jameson Olufuye, for the vote of thanks. Doctor, are you here? Yes, you are here.
Yes, thank you very much, Tabo. Greetings, everyone. It's really a great joy to see everyone here today. It has been a great experience thus far. We have gotten great keynote speeches, transformative speeches that has illuminated our understanding of the revolution happening worldwide. And so we really thank beloved engineer Hany Mahmoud for this wonderful presentation. Well, permit me to begin where I should really begin, and that is appreciating our chair, the chair of Africa City Alliance, Engineer Uzam El-Gamal. Engineer Uzam El-Gamal, the CEO of ICANN Technologies, and is also been a great leader from Egypt, connecting with the rest of Africa positively. So thank you, Dynamic Chair, for all that you have been doing and for keeping the flag flying. We really appreciate you. Yes, I was talking about Engineer Hany Mahmoud. That presentation was really great. And as the chair recommended, it would be posted to all members afresh, because there are a lot of content therein. Thank you so much for what you're doing. we trust that over some times to come, we'll get more Egyptian activities down the sub-Saharan Africa, and we see it momentum rising. So thank you so much, Engineer Mahmoud, the IT advisor to the Egyptian Prime Minister, and your former ICT Minister yourself. Next, I would like to thank my dear Claudia Selli. Claudia Selli, the chair of the ICANN-BC, the Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Number Business Constituency chair. Claudia Selli, that was a great speech. Thank you for recognizing the role of AfICTA in the BC and ICANN generally. We trust that we'll continue the engagement, and we appreciate the collaboration and the support we've received from BC over the years. So again, I'll use opportunity on behalf of all of us to thank the BC for the collaboration since we became the first African organization to join the BC way back 2012. Thank you very much. Yes, Melisssa Sassi, the global head IBM, thank you so much for your recorded message. That was really great. Telling us, yes, we need to really dedicate to build the capacity in way of coding to really transform Africa digitally. Thank you very much for that. Professor Mahmoud Bello, the MDC of Galaxy Backbone, ably represented by Mr. Dauda Yeleye. Thank you so much. We appreciate the message. It was well delivered by his loss, and our hearts are with him and his family. And we very much understand that, yes, Professor Mahmoud needs to be by his side at this moment. We very much understand. And so, and for that you could still come, we're grateful, we appreciate it. We appreciate what you are doing, Galaxy. You have streamlined the work of government. There's no doubt about that. Before Galaxy came on board, government activity has been haphazard. Resources were not well used. But today, resources are being much better used and utilized. Talking about one government initiative is a very sound initiative, and we see a lot of virtual activity happening thanks to Galaxy Backbone. We are proud of you. Thank you for your sponsorship. We appreciate it. And to my good friend Pierre D'Angelo, on behalf of all of us, I want to say thank you for enduring partnership. You've always been there with us. Anyway, we are your constituency, Africa. So I want to say thank you for being with us, the Vice President Africa for ICANN. And we look forward to more of your engagement going forward, as we usually have. Well, the person that's been speaking to us is none other than the Vice Chair of AfICTA, and that's our beloved Mr. Thabo. Mr. Thabo Masigone is the president of the IT Institute of IT Professionals of South Africa. The Institute of IT Professionals of South Africa is formerly the Computer Society of South Africa. Mr. Thabo has been very articulate and has been very responsive. We want to really thank you for moderating this session so excellently. We appreciate the role the ITPSA has played in the formation of AfICTA, and we continue to rely on your positive and strong role as a foundation member. Anyway, you are co-founder along with TESAL. TESAL are also founders of AfICTA. Thank you so much. Excellent moderation. Well, there are some other people that I would like to recognize, board members that's on the call. We want to appreciate board members, Paul Roney. Paul Roney is the president of the IT Professionals of Namibia, IT Professional Association of Namibia. Mr. Paul Roney is also an IT specialist, technologist specialist, and is being a representative at the IGF MAG, that is Internet Governance Forum Multi-Stakeholder Advisory Group, for the past 3 years, and he has done excellent work. He has done so well. We are very proud of you, Mr. Paul Roney. In fact, but for you, there will have been no workshop. You engineered the workshop that we started in at IGF, so we thank you for your initiative and your commitment. Yes, recognize the board member present, Laikana Coulibaly, CEO of Diamond Security. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for the inspiration from the Francophone area of Africa, West Africa in particular, and for all your input. Thank you so much, Mr. Laikana Coulibaly. And also appreciating that Mr. Tola Shobeson, CEO Chase System. Thank you for your leadership and for your vision. You are there, right there at the beginning, the founding. So thank you so much. And recognizing also Mr. Hashem Wabli, Engineer Hashem Wabli, CEO ACT, representing ITESA. Thank you, Engineer Hashem Wabli. And of course, thanking Mr. Timile Yambali, CEO of .ng. You're also there right at the beginning. Thank you so much for your vision and your commitment to service. Thank you, Mr. Wada Fadul. Mr. Wada Fadul, so is board member of AfICTA. He's a representative at the A4AI, Alliance for Affordable Internet. Thank you so much, Mr. Wada, for your support. And I would like to, before I round off, recognize some Amazons in our midst, like Mrs. Wumi Hassan, CEO of iTech Center. Thank you, you're always there at our event. And also thanking former board member, also with us, Amazon, Ariola Akiyemi, who is also a board member of, who is also a member of ICANN-BC. And then one of our new leaders, I cannot stop but recognize one of our new leaders in the BC, very articulate and highly committed to the issue of putting Africa forward. And is going to be my successor in the BC as the Vice Chair, Finance and Operation. Now I've been Vice Chair, Finance Operation since 2014. That is 7 years now. So I'm handing over to this gentleman. Is with us, is Mr. Lawrence Robert, Olawale Robert, Mr. Lawrence Olawale Robert, the CEO of Microbus. And he has been the most consistent IGF hub host in Africa that I know. So thank you, Lawrence, for your commitment, to dissemination of information and to technology propagation. So on this note, I want to thank everyone that has tuned in to this plenary. I hope I've not missed anyone, but if I miss you, please take note that you are well recognized. We appreciate you. The Secretariat, yes, Secretariat, thank you for your hard work. Secretariat have been working very, very hard. Thank you, AfICTA Secretariat, keep the flag flying. Once again, thanks to our sponsors, BC ICANN, Galaxy Backbone, and IBM, and all our members are co-sponsors. Yes, once again, the Vice Chair, AfICTA, thank you. Back to you. I think you just tell us about when the next event is happening. Maybe you have a break time. Back to you, Mr. Tabo. Thank you all very much.